Hello, this is Stephanie Pepper from e-manageONE, and today I'm going to walk you through a powerful but often overlooked feature in our system, auto part templates. With global tariffs and fluctuating costs on the rise, it's more important than ever to make sure that your estimates reflect the true cost of doing business. I'll show you how to use auto part templates to automatically update your pricing and protect your margins before that quote ever goes out. Let's get started. I'm going to use Tariff as an example today. First, we need to go into our master parts list to make sure that we have a part to go use on our auto part template. So I'm just going to go into our master parts list and click on new part. From here, I'm going to set up specifically a Tariff part and connect that part to Product type depends on what your dealership currently has set up. If you want to code it to furniture so that it does hit your furniture income and cost of goods sold account, you certainly can. Most dealers are going to have a separate product type associated to capture these costs and income coming in. Same thing for the parts category. So product type determines your QuickBooks accounts, but your part category determines if it's taxable or not. Finish setting up this part by selecting your unit of measure. On the pricing, I'm going to put $1 across the board, so $1 in list, cost, and the customer price, and select Use Customer Price when adding to BOM. If you'd like to automatically mark up your price, you can adjust this accordingly, the customer price. So I'm going to save that part into my master parts list, and now we're going to go attach that part into an auto part template. So simply go to Tools, Configure, BOM Auto Parts. And at this point, you can determine if you need to set up an entirely new auto part template. Definitely check out our help guide linked below, and you can see how to set up an auto part template from the start. In this example, I'm going to use an existing auto part template that I already have, and I want to add that part to be considered when using this existing auto part template. So I'm going to go to, you can see the parts that are already connected to the existing auto part template, and I want to go search for that Tariff. So I'm going to go to part search and type in Tariff. And I hit enter. If you expand out, you'll also see, or I'm sorry, scroll down, you'll also see a search, but I just hit enter on my keyboard. There's the Tariff part that I just added to my master parts list. So I'm just going to double click on it to open it up and configure it for the auto part template. Typically, you're always going to check this top box in the left corner. This just creates a new section on the quote, our phases, and it'll automatically connect it to its own BOM. If you wanted it to just do a new BOM and attach to an existing phase, you could use this option down at the bottom. In the top drop down in the top left corner, you'll see some different options that I've already configured. So you'll see that I already have one for tariff and surcharges, but you can simply click new to create a new phase or a new category or section on your proposal that you want to drop this part into. Again, if you have something already existing that you'd like to tuck it into, pick what you have existing, but simply fill in this form to create a new one. So the numbers, if you see some numbers in there, that's just going to automatically plug into the sort. If you do a 2-digit close parentheses and a space, and then I typed in tariff and surcharges, I'm going to use something existing, but this kind of shows you how you can set up a new one. Put in your description here, and the phase quantity and phase unit of measure, very important feature. Again, our help guide articles walk through all of this setup, but for the purpose of this one, you're going to find that I am going to use one that already has a phase quantity and unit of measure already assigned. So if I select the tariff and surcharge, you'll see it plugs in the phase quantity and unit of measure. This is a very important feature that lump sums all the line items attached to that phase into one line item for your customers. So they'll only see one each at the total sell price versus itemized line item for line item. So you can plug in multiple different manufacturers' tariff and surcharges all into one section of your quote, and again, summarize it so that the client only sees one lump sum. I'm going to select Save here, and it'll give you the different options that kind of activate after selecting those options on the left. So you can choose here to calculate your pricing based on what. So the cost or the list is pretty typical for the tariffs and surcharges. But obviously you have some different options here. If you're doing a different type of auto part template, you might be doing it off of the sell price. So for this one, I'm going to do it off of the cost. And I'm going to tell it to use a quantity of 1. And I would like it to calculate 2% of the cost. Okay, I would like it to calculate 2% of the cost. If you were doing an auto part template that you might have other auto parts that you want to calculate off of, you'll want to make sure that you select that. Otherwise, I'm just going to hit save again in the top right corner now. And you'll see at the bottom you have two different options, one or the other. So you can calculate this pricing that you just set up in the top right corner to price off of product types, or in this case, what we're going to be doing is calculating it off of MFG codes. So what I'm going to do here is just kind of change my views up a little bit and give you a little tip and trick here. So what I'm going to do is go over to the vendor column, and I'm just going to filter out and say I don't want to see all, because I'm doing this one just on Han. So show me all of the Han MFG codes in my system. Okay, not very many set up in my demo database, so you'll want to make sure all of your MFG codes for a specific manufacturer are already set up in Tools, Configure, Vendor MFG Product Codes. Once you have all the product codes set up, you can tell the system to calculate off of these codes. So now every time that I go add a line item, whatever method that I use to add a line item, it will automatically calculate this 2% off of the cost of anything with these MFG codes. Okay, so we'll get to see this in action in just a moment. So I'm going to close out of this and open up a project and show you how it works. So I'm just opening up a recent project that I've been in. And I'm going to navigate to the bill of materials quotes where all the pricing and estimating happens. I'm going to use the auto part template that I just tucked the Han line into, which is already activated, labor design and project management. So you'll just have that marked as use. Obviously you can have multiple different types of templates depending on what you're quoting. And if I import it or use our spec integration tool, regardless of whichever method that I use to add a line item, this way I'm going to actually just do something very manual. It will automatically look to those MFG codes and calculate accordingly. So you can see here it automatically created me a section. Tariff and surcharges doesn't have anything on it just yet. Got that description in there, and it automatically plugged in the quantity, phase quantity of 1 and the phase unit of measure of each. Again, that is the trick to lump sum everything that is on this particular phase or section of the quote. I'm going to go add something very manually. So I'm just going to search for something underneath a code that I know, MFG code. I'm going to grab this line item and add it, hit the plus sign. And what you're seeing down at the bottom is that this tariff is automatically calculating to show me that I'm going to have a cost of $15.96, which is 2% of the cost. And it will automatically add that in as the price each as well. So this one is a pass-through. Again, you can adjust the master part accordingly to add a margin to that if you'd like. Otherwise, it will calculate the cost and the sell automatically. If I want the price to be 0 and I'm just capturing the cost, again, master parts level, you can make those adjustments. You will simply repeat those steps for any manufacturers that you want to account for the tariffs. So set up those parts underneath the manufacturer and then go add those parts to your auto part templates. And that's it. Using auto part templates in e-manageONE, it's simple, but it's a powerful way to keep your estimates accurate and your margins protected. There are no surprises, just smart quoting. So if you have any questions or you want help getting set up, reach out to our team anytime. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.